Now, how many of you want your children to have an even better childhood that looks like this? Happy, healthy, good living. Now, how many of you would say that you want for yourself or for your child or future child that you want their childhood to look like this? Now, this is a scary picture, and it's pretty harsh. And I'm not showing this to scare you and frighten you to treat your kids better. I'm showing you this so that you'll realize that this is actual reality to kids in other nations across the world. But luckily, there's something that we can do to prevent this, and that's international adoption. Now, I know a lot of you think that it is important to internationally adopt, but I'm sure a lot of you also think that it's important to adopt in America as well. And adopting in America has its benefits, but you should internationally adopt because not only is it a stable and smoother process, but when you adopt internationally, you save children from mental illness as well as a dangerous childhood and a dangerous lifetime. As I said, adopting internationally is a smoother and more dependable process, and I found this out from the International Adoption Guide. I found out that once you receive and pass a background check, you're guaranteed to have a child. And why is this? Because there are thousands of nations in the world, and a lot of those nations have overpopulations. So you're guaranteed to find a child somewhere that's right for you, as opposed to if you adopt in America, then there's only a nations-wide selection. Also, when you adopt internationally, you don't have to worry about the birth mother wanting to take her child back, because when you're looking into other countries, you're looking at the orphanages. And the orphanages have children who are completely cut off from their parents, whether they are passed on or they just gave their children up. Another good thing about international adoptions process is the price. Now, I know what you're thinking, that American adoption is way cheaper than international adoption. And you're right. But when you adopt from another country, you are given a very dependable price. Before you even start looking into a child to adopt, you know the price that you're going to have to pay. And also you know when you're going to receive your child at the very beginning. So there's no mystery about this adoption. Everything's very set in stone, and you receive a schedule at the very beginning. One of the main reason why we need to internationally adopt is because we can save children from a life of suffering. I found out in the Inside Romanian orphanage that most children in other countries suffer from overpopulation. Now, I know what you're thinking, overpopulation isn't something to really suffer from, but in other countries, such as Romania, it is. In Romania, and some other countries, the ruler declared that every woman had to have 5 children before she could go on birth control or receive abortions. So in Romania, for example, women started just birthing out babies like crazy so that they could receive birth control. And because their country is so poor, the women couldn't take care of the children that they had. So they're just sent off to adoptions. And so not only is it sad because the mothers can't take care of their children, but it's also sad because the orphanages don't take care of the children either. I found out that children are not cared for at all, and some children, older children, are not potty trained, and they don't know how to speak. A lot of kids are just chained to their bed for the most of their lives, and they're covered in their own feces. And some have food thrown at them, and others just have bottles propped up against their mouths for the majority of their life. And those who do get to go out and leave their beds, they're not taught discipline, they're not taught affection or sharing or anything that we're taught in American society as children. And so these kids bully each other. The older kids bully the younger ones, and the younger ones attack the sick and the weak. This kind of neglect that is shown in these orphanages results in mental illnesses, such as reactive attachment disorder. Reactive attachment disorder is also known as RAD, and it develops when a child is very young. As a baby, if a child does not receive affection and love and care from an adult, then they won't know how to create relationships and sympathize with others as they get older. Oftentimes, these people become sociopaths, as we like to call them, and they don't have emotion. And it's not just sad that these people will never have relationships, but these children will never feel love. And so it's really important that we adopt these children, because if you adopt one baby from another country, you'll save them from a lifetime of reactive attachment disorder. If you adopt a child who is older from another country, you give them hope for treatment and a cure of reactive attachment disorder. I found all of that information from Born to be Forgotten. Now, with that being said, I know all of us at some point, if we haven't already had kids, will think about having kids in the future. And I want to urge you to, next time you think about having kids, to consider international adoption and actually follow through with it. Because not only is it a stabler process for you, but you will be saving a child's life. And saving just one child's life is the first step in changing the world. Thank you.